Hi, and thank you for joining me today. Today I am going to get ready and talk to you about my mental health journey and just dive into mental health a little bit deeper. Okay, the hair is hairing, the curls are curling. I got I forget what it's called, like a Korean wave perm in April. And that just means they're heated perms, not cold perms or like the tight spiral ones. And it has worked really well for me, and I'm really happy. Also, I just realized I forgot to put on my moisturizer, so that kind of sucks. But I don't really want to go back. Yeah, so I guess a little bit of my story is I was diagnosed in early 2016, right after I graduated college. I was living in Nashville, Tennessee at the time, interning for Stephen Curtis Chapman's nonprofit that benefits families who adopt and who want to adopt, and it's called Show Hope. Great nonprofit if you are curious. That's just a sidebar. And then let's see. While interning there, I had about a week of no sleep. I had some on and off depression that I didn't really realize was depression or insomnia at the time. And it really makes sense because both are symptoms of bipolar. And let's see. Yeah, so I had my week of no sleep, which was very brutal, really wild. And then I was having some erratic behavior. Sorry, apparently I can't talk and do this at the same time, which I wish I had known before I started this video. Anyway, sorry, I'm all over the place today. But yeah, I had really erratic behavior on social media, talking to my friends and family. This is foundation and not cover up, so I'm pretty sure, again, this is not the way it's supposed to go, but whatever. And my erratic behavior really alarmed my family, so they actually ended up picking me up in Nashville and taking me home. And even the night I got back, they took me to the psychiatric hospital, and it was really wild. I was so psychotic and so out of my mind. I didn't know what was happening. I thought it was all a game. I thought it was all for fun. I thought it was a joke, and it was none of those things. It was not a game, fun, or a joke. I desperately needed the help. And so I'm thankful to Green Oaks, even though it was very traumatizing to be in and to be a part of. I'm thankful that that hospital stabilized me, got me medication, assigned a psychiatrist to me to help me. And then, yeah, I'm done with my makeup, so I'm just hanging out. And then about a month later, so I was released after a week. About a month later, I actually had another manic episode. The first one, they diagnosed me with bipolar. And the second one, it was like, yeah, you're for sure bipolar. And the second one was very similar, erratic behavior, psychosis. For psychosis, for me, that just means I wasn't having clear thoughts. I don't hear voices, and I don't like imagine things, and I don't have hallucinations, but I do I'm having like, I don't know, just like psychotic behavior, psychotic thoughts. The reality is not reality. As far as me thinking things, as me believing things. And so after the second hospitalization, I actually went to Meyer Clinic. That was an outpatient Christian clinic for people who need mental health attention, whether it's medication or therapy. And I did an outpatient program with them for 4 or 5 weeks. And they taught me a lot about bipolar. They taught me a lot about myself. They walked me through my faith and how it relates to my diagnosis. They gave me a ton of coping mechanisms and a ton of skills that I still use today. They assigned a therapist to me during the program. And they also assigned a therapist to me outside of the program. And I saw Chelsea, my outside program, outpatient, sorry, not outpatient, but just like everyday therapist for years. And she was amazing and still is amazing. I just don't see her anymore. So that's the beginning of my bipolar story, my bipolar journey. I'm gonna go downstairs at my complex. They have a really, maybe upstairs, TBD. Both spots have a really good co-working space. And so I'm just gonna go and actually edit this video and put it together, finish publishing my intro video, maybe do some, not work things, but blog, personal, fun things, the creative stuff, the creative side of me kind of wants to just putter around on my laptop for a little bit. So that is what we're doing. I'm just packing up my stuff. My Calpac backpack, I love it. I rave about Calpac literally all the time. But that is just a sidebar story for you. Yeah, I guess to talk about the early years of bipolar were really rough. I really struggled with severe depression, suicidal thoughts. That was the first 2 full years, and it was not depression that was on or off. There weren't really ups or downs. It was just down, just flat line down. Still seeing Chelsea, still taking my meds. I think the meds was a big part of it, that we just weren't getting the right cocktail, as I call it, the right mixture of meds, the right balance that I needed. So those were the early days. They were super hard. And I still look back at them and I'm still sad for early days bipolar me and still feel that pain. But I'm really glad to say that I haven't been severely depressed in probably 7 or 8 years. I found the right medication combination. I found what works best for me and my mental health. And so yeah, it's been a really blessed 8 years depression free. I'll have normal bad days every now and then, normal funky days, but that's just part of being human and being alive and being a person, is just having some bad days and having some down days. But as far as like severe depression or suicidal ideation, I thankfully have not had those in quite some time. So I actually take a lot of medication. It took me a couple years into being diagnosed after 2016 to finding it and finding the right mix for me. I take an anti-anxiety pill as needed, but my daily pills, ow, I know you're not supposed to brush your curls, but I don't like it when it's really tangly and hurt. Anyway, back to mental health, back to medication. So I take a mood stabilizer, I take a antidepressant, and I take another antidepressant. So the mood stabilizer has been a lifesaver. It was kind of the last piece of the puzzle for me as far as like testing medication, finding what worked. And so it's been great. It's called Lamictal. The next that I take is called Vraylar. It's actually intended for people with bipolar for depression. So it's great that it's really intended for people that have the same mood disorder I have. And then lastly, I take Prestique, also daily. These are the 3 I take daily. And again, it's an antidepressant that is super helpful and makes me feel better. So that's my medication story. I also have some sleep meds that I don't like to take. They make me feel really groggy. They make me feel super gross. But I do take them as needed, especially when I'm going through a bout of insomnia, which my insomnia is always anxiety induced, and it's a pain. And so if I take, if I have several nights of sleepless rest, then I like to take my sleeping pills, even though they make me feel a little disgusting. Yeah. I guess to talk about middays of my diagnosis, my disorder. So middays would be like 2018 to 2022-ish. I I'm sorry, I keep losing my train of thought. This is how I talk to my friends on voice memos too. I'm sure they're really annoyed with me. Anyway, middays, bipolar. After really working on my depression and finding the right medication, I ended up just really caring for myself and knowing how to balance my sleep, my mood, my energy, all three things I monitor on the reg. Very normal for me to tap and ask myself, am I getting enough sleep? Is my energy low? Is my mood stable? Is my mood happy? Am I sad? Am I leaning toward depression? Am I leaning toward manic behavior? I spoke about not being depressed in several years, but I actually haven't been psychotic since my second manic episode in 2016, which I am so thankful for. That was just a really scary time to be psychotic. I haven't been fully manic since then either. There is a symptom or a condition, a part of the disorder called hypomania, and that just means you're kind of like borderline manic, approaching that really full throttle, full-fledged mania, but you're feeling a little bit more elevated, a little bit more confident and whimsical and creative and talkative, but you're not psychotic, you're not full-fledged manic that is to the level of concern that would need hospitalization or something like that. But circling back, yeah, middays. Sorry, I'm so bad at this. So middays bipolar, I ended up just really caring for myself, really assessing my needs, and I think that really helped keep the depression away, keep myself stable, keep myself well and healthy. I started a blog called wordsbymae, and it's a very mental health, intentional living based blog, focus blog, I should say, and it really resonates with a lot of people who have mental health struggles that feel like they can't share. And that was really my goal, was to just share about my mental health and about my bipolar struggles so that other people could relate, other people could reach out, and other people could feel less alone. And so it's been a really beautiful thing and a really humbling thing to just connect with other people who need some support and love. Okay, really the last thing I need to do today, this morning before I head out the door, of course, get my emotional support water bottle going. I think I might actually bring a bubbly water too, just to really, to really enhance this experience. This is gonna be very loud. But yeah, thank you for talking and listening about my condition with me and about my disorder. It's something I'm happy to be open about and something I don't mind talking about, because I know there's such a stigma to bipolar, a stigma to having mental health struggles, suicide, ideation, suicidal ideation, depression, psychosis, schizophrenia, whatever it is. Like, know that 1 in 5 adult Americans, they struggle with some form or fashion of a disorder. So it's not rare, and we need to talk about it more, and we need to be more open. I think something I want to note is everybody's mental health journey is so different, whether you're struggling or even if you don't have mental health problems. Like, there's just such a spectrum of people who struggle a little bit, people who struggle a lot, people who might get hospitalized temporarily, people who get hospitalized for life. There's just so much variance and nuance to who struggles with what and how. And I like to just speak to that, because I don't want you to think it's a one size fits all, especially if you're someone who doesn't struggle but loves someone with a mental illness. Like, something that might work for someone you know might not work for your partner, for your loved one, for your friend. So just ask them what they need. It might be a hug, it might be sitting in silence, it might be a coffee date, it might be leave me alone for a little bit, let me reset and let me just be by myself for a little bit. But I'm a big big advocate for asking the person directly what they need and what they're looking for and how you can support and how you can love them. I think I have all the things. I have my laptop, I have my purple backpack, my headphones are in there, I have my emotional support water bottle, my fun water, and unfortunately Jack is not coming today, but we're gonna have a good afternoon. I'll see you later, bud. And thank y'all for watching.